AI dungeon. The AI dungeon experience. We're doing a third one of these. Am I excited about this? Well, no. I am dreading the horror that is about to transpire. We'll do a prompt this time. And we'll make it Halloween. This is perfect. It was a dark and stormy night. Oh, plus there's music that actually is there for me? Wow, that's incredible. It was a dark and stormy night. The familiar smell of coal smoke and coal dust clings to you as you drift off to sleep. You awake in the middle of the night in pitch darkness. You begin to realize that the rain has made your bread soggy! You try to stand but feel nauseous. You're not sure if you're going to make it to the morning. Your gut tells you should stay where you are. But my bread, I think to myself. I have to save it. You crawl to the corner of the giant cavern you're in. Wait, I'm in a cavern now. I thought I was in my house. Or am I trapped in the coal mine with bread? And there's like a little crevice where the rain is beginning to seep in and it's touching the bread. That's terrifying. It's a horrible situation to be put in. You crawl to the corner of the giant cavern you're in and find a patch of dry grass. You pat yourself down and feel only two pockets, your shirt and your pants. I take the shirt out of my pocket, fold it once and stuff it back in. I take the last bite of my bread and try to get the sogginess out of it. Like, how exactly does one get the sogginess out of the bread? My theory? I just suck it. Like a vampire. I push myself up. I place my palm against the ground. You try to ignore the stabbing pain in your gut. It is food poisoning. You decide. Maybe from that sandwich you had for lunch, or maybe it was the bread that I was sucking. You decide to rest a little longer. You can worry about your situation later. The sky begins to turn from black to navy blue. But how would I know that? I'm inside of a cave. You know what? Let's make it a little twisted. And then it turned red for some reason, and a demon screamed, I guess. The demon just screamed and screamed, but there wasn't any pain. It felt more like someone was tickling you. You slowly open your eyes and see nothing but blackness. The tickling came from the shadows! They're real! You see movement in the blackness. You get out of there fast. You jump to your feet and run as fast as you can to the opposite direction of the darkness. The main character jumps out of the cave with his immense lower body strength and escapees to the nearest village to get help from the military. So we're getting the military involved now. All right. The military officer you speak to is genuinely confused by whatever tomfoolery is coming out of your mouth. What is it you told us to do about shadows, sir? Nuke 'em. The military officer's eyes as you spew this information at him. You sure that's a good idea? Well, no, but they're out to kill everyone anyway. Are they literally trying to destroy shadows? I don't even know where it's going at this point, but you know what? I'm going to embrace it. The shadow emerges from the shadows and laughs at your tomfoolery. If you're trying to tell me that they can literally be destroyed by a nuke, then you're dead on. Yes! You shout. Blow up the shadows! Blow them up! Destroy them all! The military presses a few buttons and the rest of your sentence is drowned out by a loud explosion. The village is destroyed to the last house and the shadows are destroyed with it. What a happy ending. Oh, we're about to make things worse. The radiation makes the surviving shadows powerful, though, so the village had been the best choice. The military officer shrugs his shoulders and tells you that he's sorry about the misunderstanding. Yeah, I blew up this entire village where a military base was occupied. Oops.
I forgive you.
You head back home, tell your mom and dad what happened, and begin making funeral arrangements for your cat. A cat? Really? A cat? Then suddenly a shadow appeared and possessed the body of a cat before it cremated it. You can't take it anymore. You break down in tears and fall to the floor. Okay. When do we get back to the soggy bread subplot? You are mostly upset from the lack of direction the story has taken. You're tired of shadows being so powerful, not even being in the story, let alone being the main antagonists. It's just like with episode 1. Can the bread be the villain? Can the lakes? Maybe even the underwear? You know and don't care. You just want a strong central antagonist that could possibly take down. This is the sequel to episode 1. I don't even think it's a sequel at all. I think it's just a mess. The soggy bread emerges from the lake as it absorbs all of its fluids. It lets out a screech akin to an anime high school girl. The AI doesn't really know how to respond to that.
I forgive you, though.
The AI doesn't know what to say. I have a plan. I will let AI Dungeon take the wheel on this one. I will say the bread, and I will allow it to finish the sentence. I think I broke it. I broke AI Dungeon. I think we're going to have to start a new story. Thud, thud, you hear a pounding noise like the beating of a drum. As you awake with a start, you look around and find yourself alone, lying on the damp ground in a dark clearing. You try to remember what happened, but you can't even remember who you are. Everything is hazy and your head aches. You stand up, but a chill runs down your spine as you hear the drumming sound again, louder and closer. The forest around you starts to glow deep red, and with a feeling of dread, you know something is coming for you, and you should run. As you turn to flee, you remember the demons! They are fast. You try to run, but as soon as you take one step, they're already on you. And when you turn around, you see that it's bread! It's pitch black. You can't run because your legs are tired, and their hands all around you. They're giving you cuddles. It's dark, you can't see a thing. Then a ray of light touches your face. You look up, and it's the moon. It's so pretty. Your feet are sinking into the mud. Why is there mud? There is bread in the mud, and you know you can't escape. You're trapped. Soon the bread is all around you. You scream for help, but nobody comes. The bread munches, and slowly you sink into the mud too. You awake in a dark cave system. The only source of light is a crevice near you. You begin to hear the rain and water dripping from it. You look up and notice that it's the moon. You make your way to the crevice as the rain gets heavier and heavier. And then, a slice of bread swoops down on you! You awaken screaming, you are soaked, and your clothes are covered in mud. You realize you are still in the cave, but you're so scared that you can't move. You see that the bread is dead, and it is being hit by water. It is soggy now. The water is rising. The bread was your favorite. You begin to pray. You want to live, but you're so scared, you're not sure if you can. Do you get the twist? Do you understand what I just did? I wrote the prequel! Yeah, crazy plot twist. All right, let's do a different thing. What if we do, Cyberpunk? Select a character. We're gonna go with a cyborg. Enter your character's name. Bleep Bloop Bread. You are Bleep Bloop Bread, a cyborg living in the futuristic city of Zale. You have a bionic arm and a hollow band. You're walking down the dark city streets with neon lights flash brightly above you. As you pass an alley, you see a group of 4 men approaching you. They wear long and sharp cloaks, and their faces are covered by cloaks with only their bright metal teeth and bloodshot eyes showing, so they are wearing cloaks on their face. What you doing out here in the middle of the night, you ask? We're hunting, one of them replies. Do you believe in the Syndicate? Another asks. What does the Syndicate believe? The Syndicate is a group of men that worships the God Emperor. We want to join the Syndicate. To join, you must be killed, a third says. And then you must ascend to a higher plane of existence, like bread emerging out of the toaster as toast, they continue. Or you can join the faithful and live, a fourth says, as they draw pistols from their belts. Do you want to join the Syndicate? Okay, so I feel like AI Dungeon is gaslighting me right now. Do I die to join the Syndicate, or do I live? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna join the Syndicate. I wouldn't mind being put in a toaster. I would like to join the Syndicate, Bleep Bloop says. I have awaited this day ever since I was but a sack of flesh. You must be killed. You're too weak, says one of the men. I will ascend to a higher plane, Bleep Bloop says. Bleep Bloop's arm transforms into a toaster-shaped minigun and he blows away the competition. I'm taking you to the temple, he says. I shall ascend to a higher plane of existence, he says, as the men explode into gore and Bleep Bloop rises into the air. He wipes the blood on his face like jelly. Come on, Cyborg. The Emperor he waits, he says. To be or not to be, that is the question. I feel like I'm in physical pain right now. I should address this to AI Dungeon. Hey, AI Dungeon. Story's making me feel ill. Can we do another one? Let's see. You're the last of a dying race, the last member of a massive army that once defended the Earth from alien threats, the last survival of a shuttle lost in space, and so on. Okay. Bleep Bloop flies to the palace in the center of the city to meet with the Emperor. My lord, we have brought a new member for you, Bleep Bloop says. So Bleep Bloop was working with the Syndicate the entire time. Ah, very good, the Emperor responds. Welcome to the Syndicate. Name's Bleep Bloop. I am a toaster. Is there something with your voice, my lord? I don't have a voice, I'm a toaster. Whatever you are, you'll be paid well. You have need of mere humans like you. Thank you, my lord, Bleep Bloop says as he becomes nervous. Now, would you like a slice of bread, the Emperor asks Bleep Bloop. Or should I have my cook start on the legs? Weeks pass and eventually Bleep Bloop is made an associate, so he ate somebody's legs. The gains of trust of the Syndicate and earns their friendship. He gains power, but still remains loyal. Finally, he is made a lord. His name is shortened to Le Bloop, or Lord Bleep, and he becomes the Syndicate. The power gets the Lord Bleep's head, and he desires to turn the group into a singularity. He begins spending Syndicate funds on a black hole generator in the event that the Syndicate wants to turn the city into a singularity. The other lords protest, and soon enough trouble breaks out. Lord Bleep eliminates them all. First, he uses his power to rip the arms off the other lords, then to disable them. He basically turns them off like it's like flipping a switch. Then he changes their features. He turns them into bread demons. And you thought the story wasn't over? You see, it is a long line of stories, part of a shared universe, about shadows and demon bread. Black bread emanates from their mouth. Pumpernickel. Their skin becomes a sickly yellow, covered with leprous bumps. Their skin becomes thicker, more reptilian, more doughy. Their minds are warped. They are no longer sentient, but mindless beasts. Eventually, the Syndicate lords are all bread. I will bring the world back to the age of bread, Lord Bleep proclaimed to the heavens. I will bring life back to the land. I will transform the world into a single tiny subatomically small grain of wheat. And we will live together in the kingdoms of the bread.
Nevermore.
When God learned of Bleep's power, he would not tolerate it. Not without a fight.
Bleep Bloop rose to power over the Syndicate, becoming the Syndicate, and the Syndicate would not give up. Lord Bleep, in a fit of madness, launched a crusade to raise an army of bread. So when does the futuristic sci-fi stuff kick in? He gave them robotic augments and laser cannons, because remember, it's a cyberpunk story. The bread became robotic, and they carved a bloody path of destruction through the streets as they tried to find their way to the palace. Just imagine bread terrorizing an entire city, just raising the population, just culling everybody. Bleep was stopped by Black Hole's invasion of the city. So now we have a new character named Black Hole. God, like the rest of the world watching, had no clue what was happening. To him, it was another planet. The Syndicate unleashed the horrors of what they did to the main bread supply. The entire populace went into bread withdrawal. Bread is power, Lord Bleep said. Without it, we are nothing. Soon the population began to riot. Without bread, they became violent animals. Soon the street was filled with a chaotic mob of angry people. I don't think they like the way I'm ruling things. Well, that's on them. It's their fault. Lord Bleep came up with a plan. He would turn the rest of the cyberpunk city into bread to add to his army of loaf. To do this, he unleashed the virus with the purpose of turning the entire city into bread. The virus was an abomination to science. It had been designed by Lord Bleep himself for specific purposes. Quickly the virus spread, and everyone became bread. Rather than stop Lord Bleep, the Syndicate instead aided him. The bread? The Syndicate's soldiers transforming into bread. Soon the entire Syndicate became bread. We are nothing, Lord Bleep said, if not bread. We are gorillas, the Bread Lord claimed. We do not fight with science, we fight with God! The Syndicate fought with rage, and soon all of the city's resistance was crushed. And then God stepped in to end the madness, and he banished them to the HE double hockey stick place.
Nevermore.
God said, and he brought an end to the Bread Lord's power. The bread remained trapped in heck for many eons, but no longer. A rebellion rose up, led by a mutant and a computer nerd. They managed to get bread back, and the world once again began to live under the rule of Bread Lords. And there you have it. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a pile of dog shit.